Meghan Markle's tumultuous appearance at the 2024 Caribbean Music Awards may well mark a pivotal low point in her ongoing struggle to connect with a public increasingly skeptical of her intentions and authenticity. What should have been a celebratory occasion descended into chaos, with jeers, boos, and even objects hurled at the Duchess of Sussex as she attempted to present an award and deliver a speech. The hostile reception forced her to abandon the stage entirely, cutting her address short amid a storm of criticism and condemnation that continues to swirl across media platforms. Social media, predictably, is ablaze with divided opinions. While some rush to defend Markle, citing the vitriol as an example of systemic misogyny or racism, others argue that her misstep reflects a pattern of perceived cultural insensitivity and arrogance that alienates her from both intended audiences and broader publics. The fallout: media and public reactions. The incident ignited a wave of media speculation and analysis. Critics of Markle contend that her decision to attend the Caribbean Music Awards, an event deeply rooted in Afro-Caribbean culture and heritage, showcased a lack of judgment. Accusations of cultural insensitivity loom large, with commentators highlighting that her presence seemed incongruous with the event's context and purpose. For detractors, the incident is emblematic of a wider pattern of missteps, moments where Markle is seen as prioritizing her public image over genuine engagement or understanding of the communities she seeks to address. Supporters, however, view the backlash as disproportionate and symptomatic of a broader hostility toward Markle's efforts to carve out a unique public role outside the confines of royal tradition. A history of controversy. The Caribbean Music Awards debacle is not an isolated case. Markle has faced repeated public criticism over her actions and appearances in recent years. Notably, her involvement in culturally or politically charged events often draws scrutiny. Critics accuse her of using her platform to appear socially conscious while failing to take actions that substantiate her claims. In Nigeria, for instance, Markle was heavily criticized for arriving late and wearing attire seen as inappropriate for a conservative setting. Her detractors argue that these moments underscore a fundamental disconnect between Markle's perception of her role and how audiences, particularly those outside her loyal fanbase, perceive her actions. Each controversy chips away at her credibility, reinforcing narratives of self-absorption and performative activism. The social media divide. Social media's role in amplifying the incident cannot be overstated. Platforms like Twitter and Instagram are flooded with hashtags and heated debates. Supporters have rallied around Markle with calls to stop the hate, while opponents have launched scathing critiques, accusing her of narcissism and opportunism. This polarized response mirrors Markle's broader public image. On one side are her defenders, who laud her as a feminist icon fighting systemic biases. On the other are her critics, who see her as emblematic of privilege and detachment, a figure unable to reconcile her ambitions with public expectations. Implications for the monarchy and public perception. Beyond Meghan Markle herself, this event feeds into a broader narrative of discontent with the British monarchy. Critics argue that her perceived failures reflect a larger issue of relevance within the institution. Public faith in the royal family is increasingly strained, particularly as figures like Markle and Prince Harry attempt to forge independent identities while retaining ties to royal titles and privileges. The Caribbean Music Awards fiasco, therefore, is not merely about one individual but serves as a flashpoint for debates about the monarchy's future. It raises critical questions. Can royal figures maintain influence without the pomp of traditional roles? How should they engage with diverse global audiences without appearing insincere or opportunistic? The future of Meghan Markle's public life. Meghan Markle now faces a precarious crossroads. While her defenders continue to uphold her efforts to redefine modern royalty, critics argue that her trajectory is increasingly untenable. This latest incident, framed against a backdrop of past controversies, reinforces the perception that Markle struggles to connect with audiences beyond her base. For Markle, the challenge lies in recalibrating her approach to public life. To regain trust and credibility, she may need to step back, reassess her strategy, and prioritize authenticity over image management. Without significant course correction, incidents like the Caribbean Music Awards risk becoming the defining chapters of her legacy, a series of missteps that alienated the very audiences she sought to champion.